Professor Carafit here with Bio 1441, and this is one of the labs where you're going to work together in socially distant groups to do a treasure hunt in the Jewel Moore Nature Reserve, a scavenger hunt, I should say, of biological diversity. And one of the things you're going to be looking for are various members of the class Insecta. So on the lab website, there will be a key to the insects that you can download. There are others online as well. And I just wanted to give you kind of a rundown of some of the terminology you might need to help key out insects as you go. So one of the common orders, so we're talking about phylum Arthropoda, order Odonata in this case, are the dragonflies and damselflies. I think you'll be able to recognize them. They have two sets of equally sized wings. Their larvae are aquatic, however, but you probably won't be finding those. So they have two pair of long wings that are about equal in size and large spherical compound eyes. Those are the Odonata. Orthoptera. Orthoptera is a common order. They have wings that extend the length of the body. Their front wings, or forewings, are membranous, meaning they're harder than the regular wings, and they actually hide and protect their hind wings when they're folded up. We can see that in this example right here. The forewings are kind of leathery. The back wings are used for flying. This group has chewing mouth parts and hopping hind legs, so your crickets and your grasshoppers are in this order of insects. Mantodea, these are the praying mantises. They have chewing mouth parts. You don't really want to grab these with your hands unless you know what you're doing. It's best to try to avoid grabbing any of the insects in this lab without knowing what you're doing. So try to get pictures of them without touching them if at all possible. Phasmatodea, these are the walking sticks. I've never had a group find one of these. I wish you luck, but I hope you do. Hemiptera, this is a very common order. These are the true bugs. They have two pairs of wings. The front wings are leathery. The rear wings are membranous for flying. And when they fold up, they kind of cross over one another, making this triangular pattern on the back. Okay, that's a very important feature for many members of this group. They have sucking mouth parts, so their mouth parts are kind of needle-like, like you see here. And this is, once again, order Hemiptera. Stink bugs, for example. Stink, not stick, but stink bugs are in this group. Here's some other examples. Aphids are in here. Cicadas are in this group as well. Coleoptera can be confused with the true bugs, but when their wings fold up, they have two sets of wings as well, a front set and a back set. But when they fold their wings up, there's a straight line down the back, not a triangle. Coleoptera, these are the beetles, and this is the most diverse order of insects. They have chewing mouth parts instead of sucking, piercing mouth parts as well. Here are some examples. Very diverse group. Isoptera. This is a group that you don't want to have around your house. These are the termites. They have two sets of equally sized wings and chewing mouth parts. But unlike wasps, their waists are not constricted, okay? And they're often found in logs or underground, places like that. Isoptera. Lepidoptera. Lepido means scaled, ptera means wings, okay? So Lepidoptera means scaly wings, so if you look at them under a microscope, they're scaly. But these are the moths and the caterpillars. They're larvae, these are the moths and the butterflies, and they stem from caterpillars, they're larvae. And you probably won't find those in the fall, but you may during some times of the year. And I think it's a fairly easy order for you to recognize, the Lepidoptera. Diptera, di meaning two, and ptera meaning wings. These are the two-winged insects. Like in this case, it's the flies. Diptera means flies. Okay, so here's, for example, a crane fly. We see a front set of wings here, and back here are the back wings. Do you see those little bumps right there? Those little things on a twig? Those are called halteres. What those are vestigial back wings. So they only have front functional wings. And you can see the same thing on this fly here. There's the haltere. Diptera. These have sponging and sucking mouth parts. Mosquitoes are in this group. Hymenoptera. This is a group that includes the bees and the wasps and the ants. I don't really want you catching bees or wasps. Stay away from bees or wasps, but you might get a picture of an ant for this lab. They have 2 pairs of wings, or they can be wingless. They have a constricted waist, so they have a narrow waist typically, and they have chewing mouth parts. That's the Hymenoptera. Bees, wasps, and ants. Here's an example of one you could catch. You know, what is this? Or what if you saw this in the nature reserve? What would you call it? Well, this looks like, you know, a yellow jacket, right? Like a Hymenoptera. But if you look here, there's a haltere right there. This is a fly. This is a mimic of a Hymenoptera. This is actually Diptera, a fly. The same thing with this one. Once again, looks kind of like a bee, but right there's a haltere. This is not a bee. This is a fly pretending to be a Hymenoptera in order to fool you. You may also find Blattodea, which are the, hopefully you don't have these in your dorm room, right? But the cockroaches. You also have some plants to identify out there, plant terminology, but I think you've had a lab on that already this semester, so just remember your plant terminology, and you might bring your plant key with you out in the woods. The nature reserve is beautiful. Please try not to trample on anything. Try not to pick anything as much as you can. Leave fungus where it is. Leave critters where they are. Your instructor may allow you to check out a net to catch insects. Work that out with your lab instructor. But if you don't have a net, just get pictures of things in their natural habitat. Put things back where you found them as much as possible. And I do want to talk to you a bit about potential hazards in the nature reserve. One of them is poison ivy. It has compound leaves with 3 leaflets. Looks kind of like this. It can be a tall vine. It can be a tall shrub. It can be a little plant. So anything with 3 leaflets like this, be careful around. Don't touch it. You can get a picture of it for points, I think, on your assignment, but don't touch it in order to accomplish that. Poison ivy, leaves of 3. Let it be. Other things out in the reserve that I don't want you messing with, bees and wasps. Sometimes we have ground nesting wasps, so be careful out there not to disturb them when you're out in the nature reserve, okay? Of course, there can be ticks out there, so if you want to, you can always put on bug spray before you go out. It's possible you'd run into a black widow spider out there. I never have, but they do exist. I have them all over my garage, I know that. Black widow spider. It's also possible that there are snakes in the reserve, including venomous snakes like this copperhead and this water moccasin. Once again, not terribly common out there, but they do exist in Arkansas, and they could be in the reserve, so keep your eyes open. Bring your cell phone with you, right? So why would a Bio 2 instructor want you to go to such a hazardous place? Well, it's not nearly as dangerous as you might think. Driving to Walmart is a lot more dangerous than walking around in the nature reserve. So far more people are killed with firearm accidents or car accidents a year than being bit by snakes or sharks or venomous spiders. These creatures are around, sure, but they are not nearly as prevalent or as dangerous as the things we encounter every day as humans in our own society. So be careful, keep your phone with you, have a lab partner with you, and you'll be fine and have a great time out there in the nature reserve. So find a lot of things, get good photographs, take those photographs and put them into a PowerPoint or Google slideshow, follow your instructor's instructions, and then turn those in. Make sure everything's well labeled, what it is, with what it is, and if it fulfills any of the other categories on your Jewel Moore Nature Reserve worksheet. And by all means, please have fun out there. Take lots of pictures. Enjoy the reserve. It's there for us to enjoy.